Okay, everybody, welcome to the Circle100 show. This is Ron Biederman, your host here with Sam Albert. Welcome, Sam, to the show. I hope you're having a good day. What's going on?
Not much, just trying to stay quarantine appropriate, staying home. And if we're not showing safely, we're just staying home and kind of taking things easy.
It's great. Good. So today I wanted to actually ask you to come on and I wanted to have a short discussion because your journey is very interesting to me. And just going to ask you some questions first and foremost about, give us a little bit background, like what did you do before you joined real estate?
Yeah, so my background is actually in human service and health service administration. So I went to URI, got my bachelor's degree in human development and family studies, and a minor in health service administration. And from there, I actually went on to work for Lifespan, Crossroads, and then I became actually a program director for a nonprofit contracted through DCYF, helping at-risk adolescents find housing. Um, I got into real estate first by actually flipping. A lot of people don't know that. And then I started to think about saving commissions. And then from there, I actually got my license and started helping people buy and sell houses.
Okay, so first you actually started purchasing and renovating and flipping properties, and then you said, wait a second, I'm paying all this commission, let me keep it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And that caused you to actually go and get your real estate license. Cool. A
Yep.
lot of people actually ended up that way,
Yep.
getting the real estate license. Cool. So when did you do that? How long ago was that?
That I think that was 2016.
Okay, so we're
Yeah, that
talking
was
about like roughly 4 years.
towards the end of 2016.
Okay, and then what happened then? You got your license, and then what was your next step?
Um, so I got my license with KW, and then I started to um, I don't looking back at it, I don't even know I don't realize that I was really kind of just floating out there. I didn't really quite know what I was doing. I had no direction. I had no structure at all to my business. I just, hey, I got my license. How do I sell a house? Or how do I even market one of my houses? But I did start to gain some traction. I started to make some moves, minor moves. I think at that point I was probably selling about three houses a year, or three deals a year, five deals a year. And this was part time. This was still
But,
part time.
but these are houses that you sold on the side in addition to your flips?
Exactly. So I was at that point I was even only doing one or two flips a year. So it was nothing, maybe just one. So it was nothing extensive. But that was aside from my one flip here or there. I was helping two buyers a year.
I got you. Okay, and then what happened?
Um, and then I started to what really prompted my career was social media. I started to do more real estate. I started to show off my flips a little more. I started to take pictures of clients that were buying houses from me. And then I would get my peers from URI or from work saying, are you not at work? What are you doing? Like it's 12 o'clock in the middle of a day and you're on the grill and you're kind of showing houses. What do you do? And I said, I'm a realtor. And that took me to the next level of getting people inquiring about buying houses. And that's when I started to get a little busy and kind of educate myself on how to represent clients.
And at that time, you were still with KW.
I was still with KW. Yep.
Okay, so when you're looking back, joined the real estate industry in 2016, been with KW at the beginning of your career. How long you've been with them?
I think it was only about a year and a half or a year.
And then what happened?
Then I joined Circle 100. But what prompted me to do so was I think I can kind of remember the Google search. It was 100. It was something about commission in Rhode Island or something along those lines. And then I think what I saw was Circle 100, 100% commission, and I was like, "There's no way." So I clicked on it, and I think I reached out to you, and we set up an appointment, and I kind of went from there.
Okay, and that once you decided, first of all, deciding to look elsewhere, what was causing you to do that?
Yeah.
Like, did you look because you didn't like your split? Did
No,
you
it was
feel that,
yeah,
like, what was
it was
intriguing you?
strictly commission oriented. I was looking to keep more of my commission. Understand at this time I wasn't capping. I think they had like a $19,000 cap,
Okay.
but I wasn't capping. So I was looking to say the split ended up being, they'll tell you 70-30, but it ended up being like 64 or whatever, And I'm like, where's the rest? So I started to look elsewhere, and I'm like, all right, how can I? There has to be another brokerage with better splits. And that I kind of started to look elsewhere, and that's how I ended up here. So it was strictly commission based.
Okay, good. So you're at KW, you're doing a little bit more deals. At that time, how many deals were you on track to do, like a year? Because you
Five,
said you closed
five or
three,
six.
four deals. So how
Yeah,
many deals did you close while you were there?
maybe six. It had to have been six.
Okay. And then you started your career with Circle 100 because you really wanted to come in for, the 100% commission split. And then
Exactly.
once you were on board, tell us about your experience in general. You've been with us now for what, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
What happened during these 2.5 years? Tell people what happened to you. Like, what is your experience coming in from KW to Circle? And then what brought you to this time? Because this year you're on track to do over 40 deals.
Yeah. So it was really the coaching. It was the coaching, number one, and number two, it was real. When I switched to Circle 100, something clicked and made me started realizing that my career is not a job. It's actually a business. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I started to shift my focus and my mindset towards, okay, I'm running a business. Okay, now this is not just a job. This is not a side gig. I will not be successful in this if I'm just doing this as a side gig or a 9 to 5 job. This is a career, and the more deals I started doing, the more money I started making, I started to realize, okay, this is a business. So now I started to act like a business owner. So now I started to manage my relationships with my clients and manage my relationships with other real estate professionals. And I started to create partners, so loan officers, attorneys, who do I want to work with? And then that I started to create a sphere of influence and a circle. And once I did that, I, I really said, okay, now I need to grow this business. And then educating myself, receiving coaching from yourself was huge, is huge, still to this day. And I think that's when the light bulb went off, is when I started to realize this is a business, it's not a job.
A lot of people who join our industry, coming in from other industries, they coming in like you said at KW, your transition after some time, you recognize, wait a second, this is not a job.
Right.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. This is a business. It's an entrepreneurial, industry where you're coming in. You really need to build your brand and start figuring out. So you start building your team. When you say your team is really, okay, I want to work with these attorneys. I'm going to work with these mortgage brokers, with that, home inspector. And you start assembling your team, helping you to assemble deals and close more transactions.
Right. Yep.
So a lot of people are out there right now. Many of them are happy where they are because they're happy. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are, at their highest and best. It just means that they're happy. Were you happy when you were with KW?
No, I felt stuck, and this might have been a personal thing, but I felt stuck. I wasn't go. I know I could do better. I knew I could do better. I knew what my potential was. I excel at almost everything I do. I'm like, this, something's off, and it's either me, it's where I'm at. I need to switch my mindset. I need to switch my environment. So I was not happy.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about, you're on board with Circle 100 and you started the coaching, attending some of the classes, listening in, meeting with me, on one-on-one coaching every single month, going over some business plans. But I still, I saw you throughout the process. I still see you kind of struggling with the system, like really utilizing 100% of the platforms. You're still, you're probably using our platforms more than other agents in our company. But what's the struggle?
So the struggle right now is, so I'm at a point where, like you said, 40 deals a year, really comfortable, really good. But I know that to get to the next level, I need to utilize resources, and that's transaction coordinator, which I already have. That might be not going out and doing pictures myself. I can't be doing that. So I have this thing where I want to be involved, and a lot of my business, the way my business is run, is with first-time home buyers and young sellers, and they really need to be educated. And what the struggle for me at the present moment is to say is really shifting my mindset to saying, okay, remember when you said this was a business? You can't be all of your staff members. You can't do it all. And a lot of that just comes from wanting to hold my clients' hands. But I need to understand that I can still utilize my resources that I'm given at Circle 100, whether it's photography services, transaction coordinator services, and say, listen, I need to delegate. I really do need to delegate and trust that my clients still will receive the 100% customer service that I give on a daily basis. So realizing that I need to delegate more is where I'm at, and I know it. And I think Circle 100 does a great job of offering so many different services and platforms to do so. But at this point where it's kind of like, all right, I'm working with first-time homebuyers who don't know the difference between a boiler and a furnace, who don't know how long a roof is on for, who don't know the loan process as thoroughly as an investor, experienced investor. And I really feel like I need to be there every step of the way when that's not actually true.
So in other words, you believe in you now you recognize and realize that if you start delegating more and leveraging yourself, because this is what Circle 100 is all about.
Yeah.
It's about allowing you to leverage yourself and your business. Let us do the work. Let us do the work that we're probably doing a lot better than you, and which allows you then to go out there, generate more leads, convert more leads, and do more deals.
Right.
So I see a transition in you as well. I don't just see transition in your business. Going from 5 to 40 deals in 2 years, that's a pretty substantial growth. Did you think that you're going to go to that level? Were you planning
Absolutely
on it?
not. Absolutely not. Um, I was not. And I think I'm at the point where I'm still seeing that there's so much growth to come, that it's exciting. But I still just want to keep my head down and keep working. But I don't think I expected to be at this point so quickly in my career.
That's great. So let's think into the future. Like, what do you see happening in your life, in your business, in the next 5 years?
I would say the goal is to help 100 buyers and families and sellers a year. That's the goal. And from there, is to just continue establishing relationships, managing relationships. I think this business is relationship based, and everything else falls um, comes to the table from there. Um, but just meeting as many people as I can, talking to as many people as I can, helping as many people as I can. And then from there, I think one of the other goals is to go into real estate development as far as affordable housing, um, in addition to working as a realtor. So that's probably my short term 5 year goal, is 100 helping 100 families a year, and kind of advocating for affordable housing. That's the nonprofit in me.
Yeah. So talk about the nonprofit in you. Like, what do you want to do? What's that all about, and why that?
Yeah, good. So good question. So Rhode Island's market right now is a very interesting market. We have multifamilies are scarce. They are just ridiculous. So we're talking supply and demand, very little supply, bidding wars, right? So what I notice is that a lot of, if you get your hands on multifamily, you're probably going to go in there and renovate it, and you're going to, evict or kind of get the tenants out, and then you're going to go ahead and renovate there and increase the rents, right? Um, Rents are going up. The sales prices are continuously rising. Income is not. Um, so although I'm a salesperson, right? I sell houses. I still the focus of this business is people, and seeing how tenants who may not quite be in the position to go afford a $350,000 three unit are kind of suffering, really motivates me to say, all right, what can we do to have affordable housing? How can everybody win? How can renters who are saying, I'm sick of getting evicted, or I'm sick of getting the prices, my rent price increase every month, say, how can I become a homeowner? How can they win? How can sellers still maximize their net profit when selling? How can buyers still buy at a fair price? That's kind of my focus right at the present moment. Just seeing how this market is super competitive, super expensive. How can we establish some affordable housing to make sure everybody's winning?
So it's 2020. We're in the midst of COVID-19. We're talking right now. Today is May 6th, I believe. And like, think May 6th, 2020. Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that? Like, what's happening right now in your business? What are you focused on?
So here, my mindset has had throughout this whole thing. I think starting in March, end of March is when we kind of received the stay-at-home orders, or mid-March. There was some uncertainty especially with me. It was like, okay, am I still going to be able to show houses? What's going to happen? What is this? You know what I mean? We've never experienced this, or anything quite like this. There was some uncertainty in my mindset in the beginning. But I would say as we got going through this COVID 19 scenario, my mindset has been, it's business as usual. People still need a place to live. People still want to buy homes. People still want to sell homes. It is business as usual, and I'm going to continue to call as many people as usual, help as many people as usual. Obviously, but I can't focus on the what ifs. We can't focus on the negatives, and we can't get overwhelmed with noise. We really just need to focus on our jobs. What is our mission, and just attack it.
So what's helping you to stay focused on your goals?
The fact that I'm still getting tons of people calling me every day asking, I want to buy a house, or how do I start the process? Not even really worried about COVID. Still getting sellers that want to sell. That's a motivator right there. That's telling me closings happen every day, no matter what the market condition is. That's telling me people still want to live in a nice house, no matter what the market condition is. People still need help throughout this process, no matter what the market condition is. That's a motivator right there.
So you're thinking about what is instead of what isn't.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. What is a recent book that you read that you would recommend other people to read? And are you a reader? Like, do you read constantly reading books? Like, how do you keep your mindset on the positive and keep growing your mental?
Yeah. Right now I'm reading The Slight Edge. I can't remember the name of the author, but The Slight Edge, if you Google it, is a great, great, great book. I try to always be reading something. I don't, um, I don't read. I'm not a reader, I would say. I'm really big into podcasts and YouTube. But The Slight Edge, is my current my current reading right now, my current book. Um, and that's pretty much just focusing on how can we get 1% better every day. How can we improve ourselves every single day to gain that slight edge?
So you're talking about the Slight Edge. I believe it's Jeff Olson.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So are you taking advantage of that in your business?
Absolutely. Every single day, it's about what can I do 1% better than I did yesterday? What tasks can I do? How can I stay consistent? What am I not consistent in? And how can I just literally focus on getting 1% better every day? And before you know it, I'm doing this thing consistently and improving at it every single day. So I am implementing that in my business.
When you are watching YouTube, what are you watching?
I'm watching a lot of Ricky Carute. He's a coach on there. I'm watching a lot of Mike Ferry. I am watching a lot of Ryan Serhant. Just really bombarding my mind with real estate stuff, with go-getters, um, just people that are winning, no matter of what the negatives may be out there.
Right.
Um,
Stigma and whatnot. So you're going after the success, like how people reach success, looking at them, then you derive from that what you'd like
exactly.
to do in your business and in your life. What do you like about coaching? And for a lot of agents are out there, there's really a lot of agents that I come across as a coach for many, many years. I come across as people who are very negative about coaching because a lot of them don't really understand what it's all about.
Yeah.
There is a couple of things that obviously annoy a person. I hired my first coach in 2000 from the Mike Ferry organization. It was 2000. And I hired a coach, and I remember the first 6 months was really annoying because I had to stop doing things that my ego felt good doing, which caused me to do X amount of deals a year. And when I started really paying attention to that and allow myself to be held accountable, I took my business to a whole new level. So what do you feel like, because we've been in coaching now for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're meeting once a month, we talk about, and then there's a lot of other activities at Circle100 that we do on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
What are you using from the products that we're bringing you, and what do you like about it, and what do you feel annoyed about? Because coaching sometimes can, it's like having somebody sitting on your shoulder when you're doing something wrong and telling you, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah. So I think what I liked about coaching was really the accountability piece. Being held accountable when when in other if I wasn't receiving coaching, I probably would have been lacking or slacking on in various different areas of the business. So having you just saying constantly constant reminders of what I should be doing. And hey, we talked about this already. Why are you still doing this? So having that accountability piece is huge. I would say the negatives, not a negative, but what I don't like about coaching is being called out on the areas that I'm not doing too well in, and knowing that I'm not doing too well in them.
But why is that? What do you feel like? What's that feeling?
It's uncomfortable, right? You get comfortable in your day-to-day routines. You get comfortable in the way you operate. When you're called out on it, it's uncomfortable, and it kind of plays with you a little bit.
So comfortable and uncomfortable, talking about the comfort zone. So what a coach does in many ways is actually bring you outside of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
which feels uncomfortable. And that's why many times coaching is kind of, you can say, emotionally painful.
Yeah, I can agree to that.
But that's, if you think about that, that's really what brings you to the next level. Being, able to sustain that and go with it to your next level. But that's definitely one of the biggest challenges we have, in the coaching arena. So, okay, you've been with us now 2.5 years. In 5 years, you want to do 100 deals. Do you see some of the things right now that are happening in your business that shouldn't happen anymore? Something that you should completely eliminate or reduce in order to go to the next level? And then what is the solution that is being provided to you by the company? Because I really want agents out there to understand that Circle is a platform.
Yeah.
People think, okay, it's a real estate brokerage, but I don't want to be seen as a real estate brokerage. I want to be seen as a leverage, as a platform for you, someone like yourself who really want to go from 5 deals to 100 deals
Yeah.
in the process without you needing to hire people.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're going to start hiring your own people, that's a lot of money. Hiring people, you can pay 40, 50, 60 grand for one person to do some stuff, right?
Right.
So what are you utilizing right now? What do you think that you're going to be needing to utilize? And why would you recommend other agents? I'm not even talking about other agents from other companies. Why would you recommend a Circle100 agent to utilize, as an example, the transaction coordination services?
Yeah, so the transaction coordinator services is actually what I'm using. And you will not realize how much time you're wasting chasing initials, chasing signatures, following up on paperwork, until you're not doing it. It is really, really ridiculous. I think that there's a slight fee. I don't even know, and this sounds crazy. I don't even know how much I'm paying the transaction coordinator. It's so minimal. I don't know. It's
Right.
so, to me, it's so priceless. She can probably tell you what she's getting paid. I don't know. It's so minimal per deal that it's priceless. And I would think I would ever be able to operate at this current status or at this current level without a transaction coordinator. I think I had did the math to come out to, I would on average spend 2 to 3 hours a day working on those tasks that I've now delegated to my transaction coordinator.
Just following up on the deal
Just
itself,
following
trying
up
to close it up.
yeah,
Right.
emails to other agents, emails to buyers, sellers, etc., chasing initials, chasing all that stuff.
All right, I'm going to use the D word, which is, excuse me, the P word, which a lot of people, in our industry would consider as a dirty word. So how do you feel about prospecting?
See, it's it's something that I actually don't bring up, right? And I am thinking of it as a secret weapon. I think a lot of newer agents, younger agents such as myself, millennial agents, do not want to pick up the phone. We don't. I've learned to like it. I've learned to see how huge it is, and I haven't even maximized it. If I was doing it the way you were coaching me to do it, I would easily be at 60, 70 deals right now. Easily. Um, it's huge. It's huge. It's connecting with, as how many people can I talk to in a day? How many appointments can I set in a day? How many shots can I put up a day? And a lot of them are going to go in. How many shots, how many balls can I juggle at once? That's what it is. And I don't think that it's appreciated, especially in the younger agents, as we like to just sit on Twitter. We like to sit on Instagram and kind of and sit on Facebook and want business to come to us. We're afraid to talk to new people. We don't want to bother anybody. So I think it's underappreciated, and I think I don't bring it up when I talk to a lot of agents because I think of it as a secret weapon.
Right.
But I do think it's probably a very, not probably, it is a very powerful method.
Who do you call when you do prospecting?
For sale by owners and geo leads. So geo leads are pretty much targeting a specific area. Whether you've just listed a house, just sold a house, and just letting them know, hey, I just listed a house on 123 Schmidt Street, and kind of connecting with them in that way.
Okay, so summarizing this conversation, we did introduce a new platform, which is the Role Play Club. Can you share? I mean, I know you haven't been doing it a lot, but share your experience and what do you think? Where do you think that thing is going, and what it's going to cause you and your skill level within, say 90 days to 180 days? Like why would you recommend that? Because we are actually inviting agents from outside of Circle to join that club.
Oh, nice, that's cool. I think the effect of role playing every day is allowing you to be more comfortable speaking to different strangers, different homeowners, different sellers. Because a lot of the biggest reason why people don't cold call is fear, right? We fear getting hung up on, we fear getting yelled at, we fear something. But role playing with someone allows you to stay sharp on your script, allows you to feel more comfortable on the phone and in your dialogue. Um, so if we can be more comfortable on the phone, we can feel kind of relaxed and at home while prospecting, the success rate is just going to increase from there.
So when you do that role playing, when we meet on Mondays and Tuesdays and we do that,
Yeah.
what do you feel that this experience is giving you?
I think the biggest thing that I'm getting from this is learning objections, right? I'm learning what is the seller going to say when I say this, and how to handle them. Objection handling. I'm learning. At the same time, just yesterday, I've learned. I was saying this, but this agent is saying this, and I kind of like that.
Right.
I didn't think about saying that. I never thought about saying that, and kind of just making mental notes and kind of shifting my script and shifting the way I approach sellers and homeowners.
I think that you and everybody else that's actually participating will experience breakthroughs that are unbelievable, and I'm actually looking forward to it. All right, let's close with give an agent who is sitting somewhere in another company, and I don't want to bash anyone because I think a lot of companies out there are great companies, including KW. I've been with KW for 9 years. So we're not bashing anyone, but if there are, and I know there are about 15 to 20% of agents right now that are not happy. They're kind of looking out there. They don't know where to go. They're kind of stuck in, I'm not generating enough leads by myself. I need help, or I'm not converting enough leads, or people don't even know how to go about it. Or you have other agents that need support. They don't get support. They do everything by themselves, and they manage to close 20 deals, but they have no life. So what would you tell all these agents about the company, and why would you recommend them to try out and see what, our platforms can help them do?
Yeah, so I would recommend any agent to Circle 100 simply because of the coaching, number one. I think a lot of different, not a lot, but I can think of a few different brokerages in Rhode Island that offer great training. But the coaching, the one-on-one coaching you're not going to find that for free anywhere else. And I think that's huge. I think that alone is worth the transition to Circle 100. Having a transaction coordinator in the office that you can have for such a minimal cost that I don't even know what it is huge. Taking you to the next level with regards to just handling all your paperwork and doing all of that stuff for you, is those two things alone are just huge. And secondly, I think Circle 100 being kind of an innovative brokerage really allows you to run your business instead of working for a typical brokerage, which makes you have this employee mindset. And I know we're independent contractors. I know a lot of realtors know that, but you don't feel as if you're running your business with a typical brokerage. And coming to a more innovative brokerage like Circle 100 really switches your mindset to say, all right, I'm running my own business now. How can I leverage what Circle 100 is offering, right, to enhance my business? I think those 3 points right there are tremendous to convince anybody to come over and just utilize the services and grow your business.
I agree. Okay, good stuff, man. I definitely appreciate you,
No problem.
the time you're putting into this. I appreciate the fact that you are, sticking to your goals and going after, because for me as a coach, working with people that are really, passionate about achieving and then, help them. I'm not doing anything. It's all you. But, just to see you do that and, slap you when you're not doing the right stuff. We're still arguing about some stuff that because you're so stubborn, and everybody else is like that. It's the stubbornness that keeps us, at a certain level. So I see you do 100 deals. I believe you could achieve it probably within 2 years, not even 5 years. I think you're going to go there in 2 years if you continue, in the speed that you're on right now, and I'm looking forward to it. Man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ron.
All right, brother. So thank you very much for your time.